Welcome to another Poetry Slam evening. I'm really excited. You can't hear me? Hello? Let's try the other. Hello? Yes. Okay. So I'm really excited because I really love Poetry Slam, and we have some phenomenal performers tonight. And to top it off, we get to be in this amazing venue here, this amazing theater I call Auditorium Theater, a place to experience art, music, and everything that we've experienced here in this school. Fordson High School has created such phenomenal students, events, and everything that you can think of. So I want to turn it over to the ASU students. ASU is a group that has been around for quite a while, and I will tell you they are powerful and they are impactful and they make a difference. And these students are students to be reckoned with. These adults are hardworking, they're dedicated, and they give you 10,000% of their time. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Fatima, the Vice President, and Zainab, the Political Action Director. These two beautiful young ladies are going to start off the evening for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zainab, for those wonderful words.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Arab Student Union's third annual Poetry Slam. My name is Zainab Hashmi. I'm a sophomore here at Fordson, and I'll be hosting tonight's show.
And I'm Latifa Shaito, and we are going to be co-hosting tonight's show. You know, Zainab, this is my senior year, and my third year attending the Poetry Slam. As Vice President of the Arab Student Union, I've had the fondest memories right here in this auditorium.
Oh my God, Lulu, wallah, I can't do this. Somebody please get her a tissue. My God, here she goes again.
I'm fine.
Alrighty, well while Lulu composes herself, we'd like to introduce our advisors, if they please stand. Mr. Razim Saab. Ms. Jacqueline Zaydan, who just introduced us. And Mr. Rashid Baydin. Come on up.
Come on up.
Come on up.
I'm just following you.
So I know these gentlemen want to give a few words, so.
One of the great things about working in an organization that's called the Arab Student Union is we can speak in the native tongue, which is Arabic. And so at this point in time, I'm going to ask.
I want to say a few words in Arabic. Can you hear me now? أيها الإخوة الكرام، أيتها الأخوات الكريمات، مديرة مدرسة فورسن الأخت هيام القادري، زملائي في اتحاد الطلبة العرب الأخ رشيد بيضون والأخت جاكي زيدان، حضرة الضيوف المتكلمين، أعضاء لجنة التحكيم، أعضاء الهيئة التعليمية من أساتذة ونظار، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يشرفني أن أكون أحد مستشاري اتحاد الطلبة العرب، كما أيضا أتشرف بحضوركم الكريم لإحياء هذه المناسبة الشهرية. لقد قام اتحاد الطلبة العرب بكثير من الإنجازات في السنوات الماضية، إن كان ذلك على الصعيد الإنساني أو السياسي أو الثقافي أو الاجتماعي، فهم دائما في نشاط مستمر وعلى مستوى عالي من المسؤولية التي تجعلهم دائما يعكسون الصورة الحقيقية والإيجابية لوضع مدرسة فورسن. نحن دائما نؤمن بأن أي نجاح أو تقدم لأي اتحاد، رابطة، نادي أو مؤسسة داخل المدرسة يعني مدرسة ناجحة وقوية، وهذا يعني مجتمع قوي، وهذا بدوره يؤدي إلى بناء وطن سليم ومعافى. في هذه السنة كان الهدف إنساني، وهو مساعدة الإخوة الفلسطينيون، وذلك من خلال التبرع برائع هذه الأمسية الشهرية إلى إحدى المؤسسات التي تهتم بمساعدة المواطنين وتدعى شركة زمزم للماء، والتي ستقوم بحفر آبار ارتوازية لتأمين مياه الشرب والري، علها تخفف ولو قليلا من وطأة ومعاناة الشعب الفلسطيني داخل الأراضي المحتلة. ما نطلبه دائما من حضراتكم هو الدعم المعنوي والمادي المستمر لأولادكم، وذلك من خلال حضوركم وتشجيعكم على ما يقوم به اتحاد الطلبة العرب وغيرها من النوادي والجمعيات داخل المدرسة لما فيه مصلحة الجميع. لا أريد أن أطيل الحديث، ولكن أقول لكم بأن أولادكم بذلوا قصارى الجهد وتعبوا وتمرنوا بشكل متواصل في الأسابيع والأيام الماضية للتمرس على إلقاء تلك القصائد بشكل جميل ومعبر، فأتمنى أن تنال إعجابكم. أهلا وسهلا بكم وشكرا لحضوركم.
Okay, so now my role up here is as PTA president of the PTSA Fortson High School PTSA. Like that is, but whatever. So in partnership with the ASU students, we've been partnering. I think this is our third one now, or fourth one, something like that. And it is without, like, I am so proud of these kids. And the reason I am really a strong supporter of being a part of the partnership, right? Because words matter, and words matter in the sense of we as parents and we as the PTSA, if we don't come out and support and be a part of what they're doing and encourage them, then we're faulting and we're losing what we're supposed to be doing. So, making it short, I just want to say that we will continue to partnership with the ASU students as well as parents. And I'm going to ask, since we got parents here, always remember that the doors of Fortson High School are always open. And I, as the president of PTSA, would welcome you at any time. Without your partnership and without us working together as a team, kids don't succeed, and we need that. So involved parents create successful students, creating a successful school environment. So please always remember to be a part and join us and join these kids in supporting them and all that they do. So again, welcome this evening, and I really hope you enjoy the evening. And we get started. I want to introduce this guy here, Rashid.
Thank you. So initially, I had something prepared, but then I said to myself that typically when I do have something prepared, it kind of goes usually to the wayside. So I wanted to be very open and candid. And I asked for the house lights to go up. And for anyone that's in theater or knows me, right, once the show begins, right, the show begins, the house lights go down, and you do what you do. But the Arab Student Union isn't about a bunch of people who have gray hair and a bunch of people who have the Mr. before their name. It's all about the youth. So I'm going to ask that all our members of the youth, all the students in the house, please stand, please rise. If you're a student, stand up. Stand up. They talk about, I see more students, stand up, and I'm gonna keep asking you to please stand. I still see some people. Parents, you wonder where your children are at. They're right here. You wonder where the youth are. They're in this house. The youth are half our present and all of our future. So if we don't invest in our youth today, we lose our present and all of our future. So thank you. Give them a round of applause. I want to thank Ms. Al-Qadri for being so supportive of the Arab Student Union and allowing us to do this over here on the stage. I think it was her first year, our inaugural year of doing the Poetry Slam, that she was, I think there was like maybe 15, 20 people here at the time. And she was so supportive and said that was a magnificent event, how can we do more and more? And typically, when the youth are together in groups, that's when adults are like, what are they doing? Something's fishy here, right? But Mrs. Al-Qadri was very supportive of that, and we want to say thank you, Ms. Al-Qadri. We live in some very difficult times and a lot of uncertainty. Today's message is really important. Our theme should speak towards a very important expression, and that is the expression of one's identity, one's core, who they are. And to see young people have the opportunity to go in front of their peers, in front of their parents, and in front of their community, and express themselves, there's no greater joy to me. So I'm humbled. I serve you. Most people don't know, but I actually work at Stout Middle School, and we got some Stout Falcons in the house. We're the Stout Falcons. But I'm here because there is a need. And the Fortson community, there's a need. And I couldn't be more proud of the Arab Student Union. So if I can ask the Arab Student Union leadership to please also join me on the stage. Our president, Hilal Vazi, our vice president, Yuri, all the directors. I know some of the directors are currently busy, but I see a lot of our directors up here, so if you would please join us. Yasmin Luke, I'm going to call you until you come up, so let's go. Because this is your stage. I'm just the advisor. I just make sure you don't burn the place down. Because honest to God, they did this from beginning to end. So, the torch has been passed. I'm honored to be a part of this great, great union. And we're a union because we need to stand united. So, give it up for our Arab Student Union leadership. It's all done. It really is. It's all done. All the ASU members, I know that we have a bunch of ASU members that are helping out right now. Give them all, if you would please also join us, all the ASU members. All of our ASU members who helped set this place up, the sound. We also have members from the Fortson Performing Arts Club that assisted us, but the Arab City Union members who also put this together. Like I said, this is what it's all about. This stage is your stage. This is your house. Thank you guys.
I would just like to thank our amazing team of advisors for being the backbones of ASU. I know for a fact I wouldn't be standing here in front of you all today without those three.
Oh my God, there's a cut upside down now. Ooh, I can't do this, man. Oh my God, I'll hear. Oh, what she did.
On a serious note, let's give them a round of applause for all their hard work.
Alrighty, so next up, being a Fortson alumnus means being part of a student tradition. When you leave the halls of this school, instilled in you are the values and principles taught to us to always serve your community. Asma Khatib is a prime example of someone who continues to serve the community that raised her. Currently, she serves as the director of the Michigan chapter of Zamzam Water and is the child and adolescent health program supervisor at Access. Oh, and speaking of which, again, some more shameless self-promo. Global Teen Health Week is on March 16th. All right, if you please help us introduce her.
Thank you, Zainab, for that. That was great. I am honored to have built such a strong relationship with ASU. It all started last year when I was at Stout and I met Rashid, and I told Rashid, I have a project during Shahr Ramadan. I have 3 weeks to execute it. Can it be done? He said, yeah, no problem. So he contacted his ASU members and said, we need to meet within that week. We met. we created 2 fundraisers. We did one at the Heights Hot Dog Stand. We did one at Yogurtopia. This was all during Shahr Ramadan. And alhamdulillah, we were able to raise $10,000 in 3 weeks, and I couldn't have done it without ASU. So I'm so proud of them. So please give them a round of applause. And then just recently, Zamzam Water launched another project, and it was their winter drive project for Gaza. And alhamdulillah, ASU, again, they came through and they helped us raise over $67,000 for Gaza. ASU has continued to empower their peers in their community, and I have no doubt that they are the future leaders of our community. So please, help me give ASU a round of applause. Now, I have the honor to introduce you guys to the man behind Zamzam Water, Yusuf Nasri. Yusuf flew all the way here from Houston, Texas to join us tonight, so he's only here for tonight. So Yusuf is the proud son of 2 Afghan refugees. He graduated from St. Mary's College of California in 2013 with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology. While attaining his bachelor's at Northwestern University, he founded Zamzam Water at the age of 26. Zamzam Water is a global humanitarian organization working to eliminate poverty by increasing communities' access to clean water, quality of education, and sustainable farming. Since its inception on July 26, 2014, Zamzam Water has built over 25 water projects, 3 schools, and cultivated over 350 sustainable farming systems in Afghanistan, Palestine, Rwanda, and Uganda. They have raised over $1.1 million to this date through grassroots funding. Earlier last year, Yusuf spoke at the Watershed Conference that was facilitated by the Pope and by the Club of Rome. As the only millennial on the panel, he spoke of the importance of water and what it means to the future generations. With that being said, it is my pleasure to introduce you all to the man behind the vision, the man who started the organization, Yusuf Nasri.
Marhaba, everyone. It is an honor and privilege to be here in Dearborn for my 3rd time. It is an honor to be here at this beautiful, amazing campus, which I am completely appalled by. So I applaud everyone here this evening. I wish I had the drive and the inspiration and motivation to do what you guys are doing as high school students. So give yourselves a round of applause, please. I don't necessarily know what I'm supposed to say tonight, but I will talk about something that's very dear to my heart, and that is the concept of intention. When I started Zamzam Water, it was on my 26th birthday. The day after my birthday, my father gave me a monetary gift. With that monetary gift, he asked me to buy something for school. I said, I don't need anything for school. I want to do something with this. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I said I want to do something. That's when my intention began, when my purpose started. During the summer of 2014, if you guys remember, there was the most recent intifada in Gaza. Now, I'm not Palestinian, I'm not Arab, unfortunately, I wish I was. But the struggle of the people of Palestine, and specifically the people of Gaza, we can all relate to. As the son of Afghan refugees, I understand what it means to leave your country, to not be identified by it, when someone that is not supposed to be there wants to make it their home. With that being said, at that moment I made myself a promise because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do anything for Gaza at that moment. But I made a promise to myself and a promise to the children of Gaza that I was going to come, that Zamzam was going to come one day. And almost 2 years into that day was when we actually first completed our very first water project in Gaza. And to this date, we have completed 9 so far, serving over 15,000 young boys and girls in Gaza. Not only water, but we were also able to equip them with backpacks and hygiene kits, which ASU was fortunate enough to help us with, And this past winter, we started a winter drive where we raised over $67,000, which amounted to 2,660 winter bundle packets for 2,060 children. So let's understand that the financial numbers are not that important, but the amount of people that we're able to serve is more important. At Zamzam, our inspiration, our intention is not to raise as much money as possible. It's not to raise and build as many water projects. It is how many people can we affect? How many relationships can we build? And that is what our mission is about. It's not, we don't just build wells, we build relationships. And I am grateful and honored and fortunate to be amongst you all here tonight to continue that relationship moving forward with ASU. And I will say this much, that previous generations have failed at it. My generation has failed at it, but you guys, as your generation, will be the generation that sees a free Palestine. And I believe on this note that Jerusalem is and always will be the capital of Palestine.
Next, we have a few words from Zainab Al-Hashmi, our Director of Political Actions.
So, as an organization, the Arab Student Union has long since been at the forefront of the struggle for Palestine. While others may have been desensitized, overlooking and dismissing the struggle, the crimes against humanity, the complete and utter disregard for the essence of a being, ASU's role remains to remind and reinvigorate the fight for justice, from Gaza to Jerusalem to Nablus. Even as a man in the White House decides to go against the community, going against the UN's resolution of the Declaration of Jerusalem as Israel's capital being null and void, and further exasperating the abrogation of injustice in Palestine, we continue to feed the struggle. So whether it be through simply raising awareness, fundraising for humanitarian organizations like Zamzam Water, passing divestment resolutions at the university level, or through initiatives like tonight's, we will never stand idly by. Because at the end of the day, you do not have to be from Gaza to be Palestinian. Every person in this room is from Palestine. And every single person who believes in the right of human life and justice for all is Palestinian. Tonight's Poetry Slam isn't just merely about expressing the arts through a cultural lens. It is about the advocates for justice, the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther Kings, the Frida Kahlos, the Malalas. It is about the voices of our youth, the voice of Ahad Tamimi, the lioness who stared at evil down without flinching, without even batting an eyelash. It is about the ink of a scholar who remains occupied, the rappers whose fire mixtapes remind us of the struggle that is being endured, the atrocities, the violations of human rights. It is about the words of Mahmoud Darwish, or Julia Boutros' Wain al-Malayin, and Sha'b al-Arabi Wain. Tonight's Poetry Slam is about hearing the chants of those struggling. Tonight's Poetry Slam is about the artists and the human expression that helps serve as a vehicle so we can hear the chants of Palestine and feel her resilience. Thank you.
Zainab for those powerful words. And now for our judges for the evening. If you could please stand when I call your name. Mr. Wissam Saab. Mr. Rashid Beydoun. Ms. Camelia Youssef. Ms. Zora. And Mr. Justin Rogers.
Okay, I want to thank you all for taking time to be here and support the arts. I know you all have busy schedules, but before we get started, I just want to remind you guys of a few etiquette rules. If there's any particular line that sticks out, Ugh, sorry about that. You know, and you can really feel it. It's hot. You can feel it. We're gonna snap. Get that?
Like Adam's Family snap?
Exactly like Adam's Family snap. After said poet is done performing, the applause and holler can take place. And now let's demonstrate. Lulu's gonna read us a poem and we're gonna practice. Do it with me.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You are the best and I love you.
And now, finally, to the reason we're all actually gathered here tonight, please help me in welcoming our first poet of the night, a senior at Edsel Ford High School and Harvard-bound Marwa Abadani.
Before Marwa gets started, can we all put our phone on silent, please? Because I really don't want the phones to go off while these guys are in the phone. So please check your phones and make sure they're off.
Good evening. My poem is called 50,000. 54,246. I always gave myself props for remembering things, birthdays, trivia, fun facts. Thought it was important to keep in mind what others might forget. If I don't, who will, right? Wouldn't want things of value to be lost in vain, so I make sure I remember until everyone else can. 54,246. History was a pretty easy class for me. I just gathered the gist from the ideas and left the details for the editors. Better to learn from it than let it repeat itself, but no need to spread over specifics, right? 54,246. When I was in the 9th grade, I learned that Stalin, after having the blood of 43 million on his hands, said, the death of one man is a tragedy, the death of millions is a statistic. But it's okay, the war to end all wars was over. And yet a meager 5 years after World War II had ended, we were clad in iron once more. We bid our families goodbye, just hoped to God we might see them again. Held our breath just one last time, defend our honor again. 54,246. And yet with every falling corpse, the word's luster begins to fade. The days start to get longer, the cost seems to get vaguer. The tolls seem to go faster, but you fight. But you fight because there's no honor in losing, and the promised end is almost near. The noble fight will not go in vain. 54,246. And yet a mere 68 years forward, the 54,246 tragedies aren't even statistics. 50,000 bite the dust for a cause less than vain, only to be called soldiers of the forgotten war. 50,246. A number I will remember as a death toll for power politics. Thank you.
Hey Zainos, did you know that Arabic is the 5th most spoken language in the world?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. The first time you told me this, I was pretty surprised, a little shocked. But after like the 4th or 5th rehearsal, I think I got it. I got it, Lulu. All right.
Okay. Anyways, speaking of Arabic, our next performer will be reciting his poem in Arabic. He is a sophomore here at Fortson and enjoys participating in local functions. Please help me welcome Abraham Ahmad.
Good evening. The title of my poem is called Ya Bladi, which means, Oh my country. Assalamu alaikum, عنوان قصيدتي يا بلادي. يا بلادي الفدا عليك اهتدى، صرت السهام الجارحة قلوب العدى. سهام المنية تجرح عيون الحسود، بمنه لبسنا عالجرح ثوب الرضا. إن قالوا الشوق منقلن نحن الحنين، ونحن رغيف العيش للشعب الحزين. إن قالوا الزرع منقلن نحن المطر، إن قالوا البحر منقلن نحن الدرر. إن قالوا القوة منقلن عنا الحجر. بالقدس عم ينزل عروس الغاصبين، ونحن بموتنا مثل الشجر. ما مننحني منموت ونحن واقفين. شكرا.
So tonight we have students from all three, from actually like all over Metro Detroit. But so our next student is from Dearborn High. He is a, what are you, junior? Junior at Dearborn High, who enjoys freestyle in his own time. Please help me welcome Ollie Soaps to the stage.
Can I move this out of my way?
Yeah, absolutely, it's your stage.
Okay, I'm just gonna test it, so. Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Can I higher it a little bit?
Take it off now.
No, like, does this go higher?
Twist it.
Put your phone on the
Twist it and then pull it. Tighten it.
Not tight.
I think it's good. I think it's good. Maybe? All right. In a world full of oppression, I ask, what is the lesson if when we try to rise, we are lessened? And in a world where hate is praised, I'm biting my tongue because I'm too afraid of how my very next words will be phrased. By they. They are the ones who know no love except for their own race, but isn't that the same thing as hate? They are the ones who easily discriminate in hopes it is your courage that they eliminate. They want you to live as if you are blind, but if you actually take the time to feed your mind, you would come to find that every day we fight a system that was designed to keep us at the bottom. Dear Martin Luther King Jr., you should just see how your legacy paid off because your people are so finally free. Or are they? Are your people truly free when they are unarmed, have done no harm, unalarmed that as high as their hands can be, just hoping for mercy, and still can't stop the bullets from reaching how they expect silence, but the inside of all of us are screaming. Dear hate, where your people live off $1 a day. Wait, I don't think you heard me right. $1 a day. Imagine living off of $1 a day. There are people who live off $1 a day while I'm too busy complaining that I didn't have my 5th meal. Someone is desperate to feed anything to their 5th child. They will value the grain of rice more than I ever will. There are kids in Africa right now in this moment who are the same age as me, no different than me, who can't get an education because they have to spend 6 hours a day to get water for their family. Imagine, 6 hours to get water for the day. I walk over to my kitchen, grab a few water bottles, and call it a day. Dear Syria, you were once the jewel to the Middle Eastern crown. What used to be tall skyscrapers have now been crippled to the ground. 11 million people driven by fear. Any place that's near, any place other than here, anywhere where my family won't be killed, anywhere where a life can feel fulfilled, anywhere where my son does not have to be a soldier and my daughter won't be a victim. Anywhere that's near, anywhere other than here. Dear Palestine, I'm doing fine. How are you doing? Well, I see my people get oppressed every day. I try to call for help to the rest of the world in every way. I'm almost not existent today. I've seen my people's blood more than I've seen water. I see my land getting smaller. I see the people oppressing us getting stronger. I am okay, I guess, with having to coexist, but I'm not okay when they murder my people so that we will no longer exist. I have been reduced to that little dot on your map called Gaza Strip. I am Palestine, yet I still resist. So to answer your question, I'm not fine. I'm not okay. I'm silent no more. I will no longer be ignored. I'm so sick and tired of what you think is war. This is genocide. Yours truly, Palestine. Dear Sudan and dear Yemen and to so many countries that are being oppressed, way too many for me to keep count. So to the rest of the world, oppression has been a serpent, and we've been bitten. But to be bitten does not mean we've been beaten. We just need to regroup before we hit depletion. So resist does not mean it truly. To resist, it means to love, hope to give. It means to want to live. To resist means when you see the post about the march, you actually want to show up, not dismissing it, continuing to scroll up. I'm asking, what is it that you stand for? What is it that you demand for? To resist means to stand up to injustice anytime that you see it. Won't flee it. What do you know about having to stand tall and standing bold? What do you know about someone else's cruelty turning you cold? What do you know about having to face the very same person that once silenced your voice? What do you know about having no drums, but I bet that I still make noise? What do you know about having to resist? Thank you.
Our next performer is the president of our senior class here at Fortson, a cake baker, a party decorator, and an organizer. Please give her a round of applause to Rakaya Najmi.
Honey, that is a very hard act to follow. But here we go. Type A. Color-coded notes on perfectly straight paper, spreadsheets galore doing someone another favor. My safe space is organizing. To some, this is agonizing, but an endless sea of colored pens is where my happiness never ends. I find myself organizing stickers by their theme in my clothes in my closet, by color in my headscarves, by level of dressiness. I always find myself striving for perfection, a tilted stack of books, an unsymmetrical study space, a messy stack of papers, an unstraightened desk, all waiting to be fixed. I constantly find myself fixing flaws that surround me, consciously making decisions, making sure those around me don't see my flaws, trying to be perfect all the time. I find myself volunteering to help even though I'm always on the go. I guess I just don't know how to say no, but over the past year, I've learned numerous things. There is no such thing as a perfect person. There is such thing as spreading yourself too thin, and not everything has to be perfectly organized. My organizational particularities do define me, but they define me indefinitely. This is not OCD. My perfectionism is not an obsession. My perfectionism is my getaway. Perfectionism may bring me tons of stress, but I enjoy it on the long run. Organizing is satisfying. I feel at ease. Taking charge in a group project, going the extra mile on an assignment, and crossing every T and dotting every I is necessary. Doing things to the best of my ability, utilizing all of my capabilities is important to me. I walk into class, greet the teacher, and take a seat. I take out my matching notebook and folder designated for that subject, ready to take notes with an ombre effect. I take out my pens and organize them by color. When the bell rings, I rush to my next class because to me, punctuality just might be slightly more important than organization. I am the perfect minute-to-win-it candidate. My sense of time urgency is like no other. My competitiveness never fails. I mean, I do love to win, but it's not about winning. I love the rush, the satisfaction of completion, checking tasks off of my calendar, organizing my school supplies by size in my backpack, being smiley all the time are all things I do enjoy. I enjoy perfecting everything, making sure a pretty bow tie is equally circular on both both sides, organizing my day so that what needs to get done will. I enjoy everything perfect, and I enjoy perfecting everything in an imperfect world. Thank you.
Alrighty, up next we have Maher Sabah, who's going to be performing a poem about Palestine. Come on up.
Talking about Palestine. My name is Maher Sabah. I'm 14. I'm from Palestine. Today I came to talk about my people. 2 years ago, there was a war between Israel and Gaza and Palestine. A lot of people died from that war. Parents lost their kids. Kids lost their parents. Families without homes. This is haram. My people are starving. My people are crying. My people are screaming. My people are grieving. My people are dying. Say alhamdulillah that you have a brother or sister. Say alhamdulillah that you have a father. Say alhamdulillah that you have a mother. Say alhamdulillah. Say alhamdulillah. They tell me Palestine is not worth anything. They tell me Palestine is not worth a name on the maps. I tell them, if it's for money they want, the gold dome on top of the Masjid al-Aqsa is worth over $8 million. I tell them if it's history they want, the masjid is 1,300 years old. I tell them if it's holiness they want, Prophet Sulaiman was buried there. If they want to see the true Palestinian culture, they are welcome through any of the 37 doors to enter the mosque. They're welcome to watch 100,000 of us pray any Eid. In these prayers, may people are asking for home, happiness, and future. A future filled with love, hope, and happiness. Thank you.
Our next poet is someone that we have heard a lot from tonight, but we can never get enough of this powerhouse. Please give a round of applause for Zainab Al-Hashimi.
To the boy whose grief was the scalpel that sank into him and whose rage was the suture to his incisions, I'm sorry. I was taught to see the world in hellfire or hypothermia. There was no in-between, but the ghost of you lingers on my tongue like letters with no return address. Some days your boogeyman crept out from underneath the bed, and the sheets you held onto for dear life simply weren't enough. The monster took over. My face became the Muhammad Ali to your Joe Frazier. Every blow was a testament to your despair. Every smack proof of your pain, but you were the leaf that fell before its colors changed. With every beating, you took parts of me I never knew I had. Parts of me I never knew I needed. You stripped me bare, left me naked and vulnerable. Each time you launched me into the wall, each time your fist planted itself on my flesh. Each time you pinned me down and smacked me over and over, 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 smacked me over and over. Smacked me until my cheeks felt like a colony of ants prancing about. Numb. Your arsenal of fists and a lethal combination of filthy words you'd use when you step out. But I know that trauma flows through your veins, pumping your heart. So to the boy who grew up way too fast, to the boy whose leaves fell before their colors changed. I know you were at war with yourself, and I know that each time you turned me into collateral damage, you hated yourself that much more. So I wonder, can you love someone who's done bad things?
Next up, 18-year-old filmmaker and photographer from Dearborn High School, Malak Wazir.
How's everybody doing? Sunday, April 9, 2017, 9:37 p.m., Tel Aviv, Palestine. Malak, calm down, it's just the usual checkpoint, she tells me, but tell me, how can I calm down when his bulletproof vest is thicker than any wall they tear down in Gaza? How can I calm down when his eyes pierce mine quicker than any bullet ever could? How can I calm down when the taxes that I paid for the gun in his hand? I could smell the blood on his hands, I could feel the presence of evil. This was something more, and I realized it from the way his eyes trailed downwards, ending with a smirk. Janna took my hand, her thumb stroking mine. I could feel the numbness crawl up my spine. I noticed something black in the corner of my eye, and I freeze. Completely stuck in time as I realize it is the barrel of his gun rushing on the side of my head. This was something more. In any minute, I'd be dead. 4 more men walk up to the door. A bus full of women, and all I can think of was my mom. A bus full of women, and she's telling me to stay calm. A bus full of women, and she's holding my sweaty palm. I think about all the times I hear these stories on the news and how Israel is the #1 site for human trafficking, and how we are a bus full of 8 women surrounded by 5 armed men. I don't think you understand me. We are a bus of 8 women surrounded by 5 armed men. I wonder how many moments pass unrealized, how many moments go unsaid, how many stories compromised, and how many thoughts gone dead. I could taste death, I could smell the blood on his hands through the darkness of his eyes. I could feel the irony in that my taxes paid for the gun in his hands, and most importantly, I could realize my privilege in being American when he glanced at my passport and let me go.
Okay, so our next poet enjoys sunsets, long walks on the beach, and the feeling of sand between her toes. Help us welcome Laura Fatima to the stage.
Hey guys, I just want something a little bit different for my introduction since we've all been kind of depressing mood. And I just want to let you know that if I end up making you feel uncomfortable, good, because that's my intention. When I was 4 years old, I emptied out my dresser drawer, painted it blue, and created a home for my rubber duckies. But then I decided that wasn't enough and filled it to the brim with water so that they can swim around and enjoy themselves. See, at a young age, I started to believe that every touch breathed life and hands only knew the beauty of creation. Now, I don't know if that was naive or just plain stupid, because at 16, a notion that I carried with me for 12 years was proven wrong by a boy dressing up as a man. But it wasn't Halloween, so I was truly terrified when Facade fell, and felt my childish fantasy crumble with every unwanted touch, because his hands only knew destruction. His touch was human, but the creature looking behind his eyes showed no remorse or a hint of a conscience. And they ask me why I speak out. Kat calls a feminist, the 19th Amendment tattooed on my knuckles as I attack for helpless men, but you'll never know true helplessness until you're pinned down with a hand on your throat and the whole weight of the human body becomes a sticky rat trap. And it all just seems a bit excessive because you are only a mouse. And we've been timid like one for far too long. So today, I speak out. Today, I take the taboo and make it a topic of the hour, the topic of the day, the topic of tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, I don't mean the day after this one, but every tomorrow to ever exist. We account for half the population, or to be more exact, 49.6%. Yet, we're treated like 1%. And I don't mean the 1% who live their lives in fast cars and slow days. It's more like when your phone keeps reminding you it's gonna die soon, but you keep pressing the ignore button. We're the 1% trying to hang on instead of taking the simple task of charging the damn phone, you just let it die. And then we have to reboot ourselves. Take even more time to be able to function again because building from nothing is so much harder than starting at 1%. Just ask 49.6% of the room. Because 1 in 5 of them will be sexually assaulted by the time they finish college. We beg for awareness, for reform, for consideration. We fight for awareness, reform, consideration. We need awareness, reform, consideration. But you just keep on hitting ignore until you can't anymore. And the time when we can't be ignored anymore is not coming because it is already here. Because every woman knows someone who's been sexually assaulted, but no man seems to know any harassers. And we won't stop until the notion that saying no means just being a tease and playing hard to get is erased from existence. Like the way you tried to erase the police reports. Until we can walk to our cars with our keys between our knuckles until 1 out of 5 becomes a myth and unbelievable. Not because the way she was dressing was a cry for attention, but because respect finally became a two-way street. And that's all we ever really asked for. A world where we stand united in public instead of being shoved somewhere in private, where our daughters are forced to grow up so fast, where the buddy system is a fun suggestion, not a survival tactic, where the phrase making love doesn't seem like fictitious propaganda. We all can't get what we want, but in this case we can. I'm not asking for change anymore. I'm giving you a heads up.
Okay, thank you all. We are going to take a 5 to 10 minute intermission. Bathrooms are in the back. There's refreshments in the lobby. Feel free to roam around. We will be back.
So I just want to say that was a phenomenal first half performance by you folks. Really. Let's give another round of applause. And I can tell you right now, we have another great second half for you guys. But I really want to take a moment first to thank all those who helped make this possible. As our sponsors, I want to thank People's Cafe and Grill, Common Grace Coffee, LED Show, Tropical Sweet, New SC Bakery, Levant Sweets, Uppercuts, Papaya, West Center, Chevrolet, and Peter Hewitt. Their support really helped us through this, as well as the continued help from administration. Ms. Al-Qadri, so much fun, Ms. Al-Qadri, Ms. Saab, and our advisors, they helped us give us a place to sit down. So kind of a round of applause to them, if you don't mind. Before I turn over the mic, I have a few words I wanted to say to those in attendance. Call to action, if you will. Today's about the nation, and we're witnessing a movement. It's unprecedented that we see now change and reform being called by not by a vote who are up to years old, but by the youth, by the high schoolers, by the students. And so I'm here to say to my friends, the peers that sit here, even the adults, that through activism, our engagement and our enthusiasm, now in this time, in this pivotal moment in history, we can leave a mark. We can be known as those who changed, whether it was gun reform, healthcare, or social injustices. This is the time. So I ask you all to join me in having our voices heard and let it be known we will not be complacent in injustices or broken laws. We will not sit idly by, but instead rise above our station to meet any challenges society has for us. And so I call to those in attendance, my peers, my fellow students, the administrators, the students, and the parents, that there is no change too great for us to attempt. There is no endeavor too large. For when we act unified, when we act together, we can accomplish any feat. Thank you. And now I would love to turn over to ASU's president, Mr. Giraldez.
Thank you, Asma. Shout out to Asma. First and foremost, I genuinely want to thank everybody that showed out tonight. Looking back at serving 3 years now in ASU, 2 years as president, it's amazing to see how far this event has grown. From 20 people to our first one to around 60 people last year to over 150 or almost 200 people today. So I want to just round of applause. Serving this organization for over 2 years now, I'm so humbled that I get to experience this event with all of you, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all your attendance so much. We've worked closely with so many different organizations and community members, and I just want to shout out Esma one more time just because she's been amazing through this whole process. I love you, and she's offered so many opportunities, and she's been a very close friend of mine, so I just want to thank you, Esma. Thank you so much. I want to thank every single one of you for coming here. Not only are we representing Fordson in the best of light, we're dispelling those stereotypes that ASU, which is ASU's mission. We're trying to dispel stereotypes, and this is one of the best ways to do it, and it's all with a great cause. So I just want to thank you all so much. And before I end, I just want to thank our two advisors, Mr. Rashid Beydoun, the three advisors, Mr. Rashid Beydoun, Mr. Zemsab, Ms. Jacqueline Zaidan. Thank you so much for your leadership and your guidance in this whole process. I'm so humbled to be able to serve as president under your mentorship, so thank you so much. I hope you guys are ready for the second half of the show. We have a lot of great poets. If you thought the first half was great, the second half is even better. So we have about maybe around 15 more poets left, but I want to introduce now our next poet. Our next poet is a sophomore here at Fordson High School, and she's part of ASU, a very active member. She's part of drama. She just performed in a play recently, and she's part of the Pay It Forward Club. I'd like to welcome onto the stage Fatima Jah.
Thank you, Hidad, for the wonderful introduction. I'd like to say that I love Fordson, and I'm really proud to say that I'm now a poet because of ASU. Before I start, I'm going to ask you all to do something for me. When I raise my fist, I want you all to chant along with me. The chant is simple. It's just resist, resist, resist. Would you all like to practice? Yes! Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. Perfect. Now when I put my fist down, you can relax. Resist, resist, resist. Thank you. So let's get started. Resist, resist, resist. Or they will all insist that we are all terrorists when most of us are pacifists. We are here today wearing these around our neck because we're standing together for a country called Palestine. Even if you say it's Israel, I will believe it is Palestine. We are here today because there was a girl who was arrested for protecting her mother and her home. For a girl who was laying up all night in prison wondering if she was going to be okay, if her mother was going to be okay. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. But don't resist their fear and ignorance with hate and violence. Because if we do that, we'll have to admit defeat, and our resistance will just become obsolete. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. Resist, resist, resist. We are all here today because we were raised by our parents who resisted. We were raised by the generations who resisted for Palestine. We are here because you all resisted. You, the parents in the crowd, you all resisted. You all resisted by teaching your family what it meant to be a family. By teaching your family to love instead of to hate. You have all resisted by showing the world what a beautiful community you are when we stood together for Palestine. Resist, resist, resist.
Resist, resist, resist.
We must resist with the peace and patience that we have been taught. We must resist to the beast that eats off hatred and pain has nothing left to gain, leaving it to burn and to never return. Resist, resist, resist.
Resist, resist, resist.
We must resist, resist, resist.
Resist, resist, resist.
For the day that we will have equal rights and for the day that we can laugh at all of these sleepless nights. For the day that Palestine will finally be called Palestine once again and for the day Palestine will become home. Resist, resist, resist.
Resist, resist, resist.
Thank you all so much.
All right, so our next performer is Isra Ghazi. Isra is a passionate bibliophile and someone who occasionally likes to write things. If you could please help me welcome her to the stage.
Once upon a time, there was a girl, a Middle Eastern girl, about my age, about my frame. Let's just say she had my name. This girl grew up in two homes, and both families taught her to be strong and smart, taught her that the world is wide and opportunities are wider if you lead with your heart. And so she grew. She went out into the world and saw the hurt and suffering that so many people were in. She promised to be a part of the change. She promised herself that good would win. But then came the time of society's scrutiny, the time when people just cared about housework and beauty. Can she be a sick bed? Will she cook and clean? We've got to get you married. You can't really mean you want to grow to be a physician one day? That's a man's job, honey, to just sit home all day. The girl's father took a strong look at her and said, the daughter I raised will live up to her potential. She will be all that she can, and I will give her all that I am. And society's standards mean nothing to me because her drive and her intelligence, that's her beauty. That's the story of me and the place that I'm going. And so my words of advice, girls, are to take your light and shine it in the darkest of places. Because without you, we cannot see.
Our next performer is Zainab Al-Hashami. Zainab is a 16-year-old and a sophomore at Henry Ford Academy. She has previously been published 3 times for her powerful poetry. Please welcome her to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Hi. My greatest fear is drowning. Not the actual, you went too far in the deep end or your lungs were full of blood. Even though I could swim, my greatest fear is drowning. Meaning accidentally diving headfirst into the deep end of depression or anxiety or things even worse, post-traumatic stress disorder. And not being able to get out. You try your hardest to swim to the top, but then you notice a bracelet shimmering so beautifully at the bottom. And you forget you're drowning, which is bliss. And then you choke. And you realize you're shaking and you can't breathe due to the fact that you're having a panic attack and your senses are going into overdrive, working backwards and inverting themselves, and what? You lost track of time. And most importantly, yourself. And then it stops, everything stops. You aren't even drowning anymore, but you feel numb. Not as that you physically can't feel anything, but emotionally. You don't really find jokes funny anymore, and you're not passionate about anything. And you feel as if your body has lost all emotion. Maybe numb is an emotion. Maybe it's an emotion so powerful that you can't feel any others. And then you feel broken. Broken by the fact that when you tell your mother, I had a panic attack, she dismisses it with a wave of the hand and says, honey, you don't have those. I didn't have those. At least I didn't know I did until I stumbled across someone's online journal and the recollection sounded oddly familiar. And with another click, so did hers and his and theirs. But I didn't have those. At least they didn't need to know. Now I know how to make my senses calm down and flip them right side out because I am me, and being me means that I'm alone with myself, and even though I struggle with depression and anxiety, I know how to pull myself out just enough to see the sun rising over the horizon. Dear future me, you are the reason I still fight. Thank you. Being the youngest of 6, Jenna Hu grew up with her best friends at home. So if you want to get to know Jenna, get to know her family. Help me welcome her up to the stage.
Yeah, Jenna!
Who am I? Contemplate this question. Now this, I gotta see. You think you know who I am, but do you really know me? Do you know who I am? I am the jack of all trades. I wonder what goes on in your mind as I hear the narcissism in my words. At times, I see the better person I strive to be, so I want to be that person. I am the jack of all trades. I pretend I let go of all this pride, yet I feel like I never will go. I touch your thoughts with my charm, still I worry that the pride will never die, and so I cry about what a curse this blessing is. I am the jack of all trades. I understand this personality is flawed, and I say that I cannot stay as such. If I dream of who I was, who I want to be, will I try to create this better me? Because if not, I hope that this is good enough. I am the jack of all trades, master of none. Woo!
I met this next performer on the first day of school freshman year, and despite all the mistakes, we're still friends to this day. Please help me welcome Mulu Khan.
My title is Wake Up is Calling. When you are legitimately sick out of one lung and love the other, wake up and ask, what am I doing to myself? Realize that if he loved you like he said he did through that goddamn cell phone screen, he'd be here. That if he really meant those things he said when he was drunk, and darling, you should have known he didn't mean them when you figured out he was drunk, he'd be by your side. Fighting your demons with you, awakening from deep Saturday night sleeps with you, drinking midnight coffee with you, because he knows your favorite time of the night is when it is you're born into a new day. But darling, he isn't here. He isn't here, and despite what he laces into his sloppy brain and entices out of his cunning mouth, he's not coming. He'll call you at 2 o'clock in the morning with the love of a cigarette on his lips and tells you he needs you. He'll text you at 4 in the afternoon during his rendezvous with a beer bottle and tells you he misses you. He'll even write you at midnight when he is alone and high past the heavens, asking if you would like to go out for coffee. And when you're legitimately sick out of one lung and merely lovesick out of the other, awakened by the pain of the realization that he was never really there for you, but for him. You will say, you used to be my cup of coffee, but I drink tea now. And love is not a feeling, but instead an action. And you have not been playing the role, so take your bow. Take your puff of cigarette, take your sip of beer, take what you want except me. Because you didn't love me a single ounce when I was dumb enough to love you, but baby, I am smarter now, and I will not let you take me. You will say that because if you have said the words and phrases, I need you to, I miss you too, and yes, that's what they'd remain. That's all they'd ever be, words, never anything more, never actions, never doings of displays or showing of affection, darling. I am so glad that you are so sick that you realize that now.
Our next poet, Rowan Saddam is a freshman from Fortson and a feature film producer who likes to write creative stories. Please help me welcome her to the stage.
Did you do something wrong? Something so difficult and long? And try to put it back to where it belonged? Then you resolved it dead on the ground, leaving all your loved ones to die. And it all started with a change. As things around you change, you change. And you were frowning, not glowing. Distracted and needed satisfaction. Said you were okay, but didn't want the reason to stay. You played along through curled smiles, but no one noticed in endless miles. Whatever, let's get to the point. What? Were you breathing the whole time when you felt suffocated for days? You couldn't understand the question, therefore you prayed. Stop the frownings and start growing. Stop the distractions and start your adaptations. Stop saying there is not a reason to stay when there's a million reasons to stay. There is a reason you're still standing, and you'll find a way to keep your landing. Don't choose how to die, choose how to live. Don't kill yourself, heal yourself. It's better to feel good than to look good. Take up from me, don't be a coward, and take a step forward, because it's your first life. And there will be another life. After all, you didn't do anything wrong. You just made a mistake, and don't say you're the mistake, because you're not. You were talking all along, but you weren't. Never were, never tried, and I hope my words change you whenever you're lost. Thank you for listening.
Our next performer is Heba Daniel. She is a senior at Fortson High School, the president of the Performing Arts Club, and she has been creatively writing since she was 8 years old. Please welcome her to the stage. Hi everyone. Okay, my poem is called Excerpts from a Mother Tongue. 1. If you ask me if I'm fluent in Arabic, I will tell you that my Arabic is a ghost of a limb, still reaching for words and forgetting the hand that once was is no longer there. If you ask me if I am fluent in Arabic, I will tell you that my Arabic is all of the birthdays that I cannot remember, is all of the pictures taped into the scrapbook with scotch tape and tight hugs and I love yous, is what my family told me. If you ask me if I am fluent in Arabic, I will tell you that my Arabic sits in the back of the classroom, ducks its head down on the flat desk and does not raise its hand. My Arabic is red pen dancing across the final examination sheet, and I wonder why the red marks look so much like paper cuts. 2. My Arabic will never be like my mother's, clear as the breeze that darts through the olive grove in her village. Sometimes, my mother will open her mouth and a song will pour out, sweet like the roses in Teta's garden back home, like the orange blossoms that dart her childhood window. Sometimes, my mother will open her mouth and a scream will pour out. Angry for a country that is more bullet casings than country, mourning a family left behind, for a home that is no longer home. Because how can there be exile if there is no homeland? 3. My mother took us home in the summer of '09. That was the summer I sat on the curb of the streets in Beirut eating ashta ice creams with sticky hands and toothy grins. My cousins introduced me as their American cousin, with a hard R rolling from their tongue like a punch to the gut. I do not understand their jokes, with their fast Arabic and their faster laughter. Their giggles erupt from the belly of beasts before Rasha can finish explaining to me. I do not understand the love songs my cousins sing as they curl their hair and rouge their cheeks. Love songs that are just as much about country as they are about women. Come home soon, Sita says at the airport. But that home doesn't feel like a home.
That home feels like a cluster of villages drawn inside a border cut by force to draw blood. Home is the mango tree in Teta's backyard. Is her hands gnarled like tree bark, pressing cherry tomatoes like rubies into my hand to take down to his house next door. 4. They keep us in the airport for 3 hours. The TSA agent looks at me. Her eyes are 2 chips of dirty glass on an unsmiling face, her arms folded. She dumps out my Hello Kitty backpack, looks at me confused when she finds coloring books instead of explosives. She opens the stiff blue book stamped with place of birth, Dearborn, Michigan, USA, asks me where I'm from, and smirks when I say here. Some days, there is more American in me than I can stand. Some days, I cannot remember all the words to the Fairuz song. Some days, I cannot find all of my mother tongue. Some days, I cannot find all of my mother's tongue. And I am the 9-year-old girl locked in the windowless room in the airport again, and I clamp my mouth shut, ashamed at how polluted my mouth has become. 5. Forgive me, I cannot teach you how to say my name. I am somewhere halved by water, from an ocean of salt and from the sand in my shoes. Forgive me, I do not have enough language to name a child. I only come with a handful of names to describe a body that feels foreign, Arabized, colonized, other. I am shifting through my silences, half illiterate in a motherless mother tongue, an Arabic brimming with words I cannot say. My Arabic is always understanding. There will always be stories out of my reach, but there are always conversations I won't be able to have, but there are letters that will always stay silent, but there are words that will always escape me. Thank you.
So our next performer is very talented. Some of her talents include playing the flute, singing, and acting. She is currently cast as Alice for the Stout Theater Company's production of the Adams Family musical. Some shameless self-promo. Mark your calendars, April 19, 20, and 21, Adams Family will be at the Stout Auditorium. Without further ado, help me welcome our next poet, currently in 7th grade from Stout Middle School, Aya Barakat.
Okay. My poem is called Take Home. Resistance levels. Level 10 to level 1. 10. War and not peace. Level number 9. Hatred, murders, and death crimes, all because of hate. Level number 8. Human trafficking problem. People kidnapping. Level number 7. Children are being abused. Bruises and cuts hurt. Level number 6, anti-race, no tolerance. People. Level number 5, bad, anti-feminism, opposition. Level number 4, big drug addiction problems. Level number 3, alcoholics, big drinkers, drinking, addiction. Level number 2, smoking, causes cancer, smoking addiction. Level number 1, bullying to depression, and depression to thoughts. Taiku is resistance. Haiku is a Japanese poem. Resistance levels. Thank you.
Our next performer is a 4th grader from Long Elementary who will be playing Grandma and the Addams Family. Help me welcome Amina Barakat to the stage.
and I believe I am proud. My voice is loud, so I say today, hijab makes me comfortable. Looking around me, all hijabis surround me. This hijab, this mark of piety, is an act of faith, a symbol of our society.
We have one more Bearcat for you guys. Next up is Zach Bearcat, a first grader from Long Elementary. He made his debut as Raja in South Theater Company's Aladdin, but we couldn't get enough of him, so he's back as Sing in this year's production of the Addams Family. Help me welcome him to the stage.
Stand up for yourself. Don't let your family get hurt. Don't hurt animals. Be kind to them. Be kind to others. Be kind to the earth. I am an upstander.
Malak Jaled is a junior at Fortson High who's passionate about writing and believes that a single person can make a huge impact on the world. Come on up. Technical difficulties. Are we good here?
For Palestine, who never stops fighting. They say that the United States is the land of the free and the home of the brave, but what they don't say is that Palestine is the land of the guilty and the home of the innocent, the land of the occupiers and the home of the occupied, the land of the persecuted and the home of the persecuted, the land of the oppressors and the home of the oppression. But it wasn't until 1948 that resistance was born when Palestine became its definition. 1948 came around, they stole Palestine. They grabbed her by the hand and took all that she had, the clothes off her back, the fruits off her trees. They robbed her of her identity and stripped her of her dignity. Her children were left orphaned. Her siblings misplaced, her parents divorced, and she continued to fight. It's been 70 years of occupation, of war, of murder, of blood, of sweat, of tears, of calamity, of agony. But she continued to fight. In January, her children were detained, taken away, and chained. They were slapped against a cheek, trapped between the creek, raped before the men escaped through hell. All because of a piece of land, an invisible line that divided not only their land, but their peace of mind, divided their humanity, divided their sanity, their human rights. But she continued to fight. In February, she was stained red from the wounds of the innocent who bled, but she continued to fight in March. Bills were passed against her will that threatened her existence for real, but she continued to fight in April. Her children began a crusade, a hunger strike while in isolation to improve the excruciating prison conditions. But she continued to fight in May. 41 days later, she declared victory. Her children could now visit each other monthly. They could embrace one another and love each other because she continued to fight. In June, her kids stayed awake, afraid. They would wait at night, searching for hope, for a sign of light. A little child of 8 was amongst the many awake. He looked to his father with big brown eyes and said, "Baba, can you tell me a story about Palestine?" His father looked at him with the same brown eyes and slowly began. Once upon a time there lived Palestine. Her eyes were tinted green like her olive trees. Her heart was tinted red from the tears that they shed, from the words that they said, from the blood that they bled. Her clothes were tinted black like the souls of the oppressor, and her skin was tinted white like the doves that never flew above her.
But Baba said the child, fear in his eyes, is Palestine ever going to be the same again? Is Palestine going to be alright? Palestine will be alright. Palestine will be fine, his father replied. You see, my story is not just a fairy tale without a happy ending. Because she continues to fight. In July, amid the controversy that angered the Heights, UNESCO declared Hebron's Old City a World Heritage Site. Because she continued to fight. In August, metal detectors blocked entrance into Al-Aqsa Mosque, and her children still prayed outside on the rocks. But she continued to fight. In September, as the call to prayer was heard, the Muslims rushed in as now they could. Because she continued to fight. In October, tear gas and bombs punctured her body as her children suffocated and fled terribly. But she continued to fight. In November, her heartbeat quickened. She was worried about the life that they lived, but she continued to fight. In December, a girl of 16 years fought soldier of Israel. They raided her house and started arresting, but she continues to smile as a face of resistance. Because she too continued to fight. The 6th of December 2017, she remembers the day as if it was yesterday. They took her only child who remained. Jerusalem was her name. She was Palestine's only hope. She wondered how she would cope, for a mother's love for a child was infinite. So when they handed her the death certificate, she saw the world before her eyes. She got over and cried. Or so they thought. Because she continued to fight. They still say that the United States is the land of the free and the home of the brave, but they now say that Palestine is the land of the olive trees and the home of the diverse, the land of the hope and the home of the believers, the land of the resilient and the home of the achievers, the land of the fighters and the home of the resistance. Because 70 years wasn't just blood, sweat, and tears, it was 70 years of endurance, of hope, of grit, of protest, of prayer, of patience, of resistance. Because whenever something came up, she continued to fight. You see, Palestine will always fight. She's painted red, green, black, and white. She wears a hat that says, make Israel Palestine again. She's brave, not enslaved. She is strong, not wrong. She is divine, not blind. She's free. She's Palestine. Because despite the blood, the greed, and the death, there is still hope. There will be peace once Palestine becomes whole again. Once Palestine becomes free. Because she continues to fight. Thank you.
Our next poet loves music, math, and Michael Scott, a woman of my own heart. Please help us welcome from Dearborn High School, Maya Yamka.
Sorry, I'm tall. This is like after work. I shut my eyes so I don't have to see his. I don't want to look into them. The only eyes that saw the tragedy. The pair that fully witnessed the mayhem. If the eyes are the windows of the soul, I'm closing the blinds. I'm not ready to console and I'm scared of what I will find. I'm not ready to say the names or the lives he took, but they are all I can think of. Alyssa, Scott, Martin, Nick, Joaquin, Jamie, Aaron, Alec, or was it Alex? I don't remember. I don't remember 2 weeks since they've lost their lives and I've already forgotten. 2 weeks since their souls left their bodies and I've already forgotten. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 14 days, 336 hours, 20,160 minutes, 1,209,600 seconds, 1,209,601 seconds, 1,209,602 seconds. Alyssa, Scott, Martin, Nick, Joaquin, Jamie, Aaron. Alyssa, Scott, Martin, Nick, Joaquin, Jamie, Aaron. Alyssa, Scott, Martin, Nick, Joaquin, Jamie, Aaron, and Alex. His name was Alex. Forget the shooter. Forget his eyes. Remember those in front of the gun. Remember all of those in front of the gun. Remember now and don't forget. If we don't remember now, it'll be our loved ones that we will have to remember later. Resist the excuses to forget. Guns aren't the issue. He's just psycho. Security should have been quicker. Someone should have reported him. To that I say he was reported. Security guards are only human. Psychos shouldn't have guns and he couldn't have killed 17 people with a knife. March 14th, 10 a.m. Walk out for change. Walk out for solidarity. Walk out to prove that we will not forget.
I'm sorry, Alex. I promise I won't forget. Our next performer is Hiba Shoker, a sophomore here at Fortson who serves as a historian on the ASU board. Please help me welcome her to the stage.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming out today. My poem is called Round One. I once knew this little girl who spent her entire life fighting. You see, this little girl had a harder life than most. She had more people walk out on her than you can count. She spent all her childhood putting everyone's needs above her own. However, that wasn't the hardest part in that little girl's life. No, the biggest struggle in her life was fighting the demons in her head. Her demons were awful. Telling her to blame the world for her difficult life. See, what did that little girl do to have her mother walk out on her, or better yet, have her entire life ruined in a fire that consumed her childhood home, leaving her and her family with nothing? What reasons justified her sadness? Her demons were relentless. That little girl knew it was wrong to listen to them, but of course she did. She had no one, she was alone and scared, and her demons were the only thing that made sense. So when they told her to get angry, she did. She got angry at everyone, her family, her mother, the world, and even God himself. After a while, there was only one person that little girl was angry at, herself. She thought herself weak. She listened to her demons, so of course she was weak. She couldn't resist them. They had too much power over her, overwhelming her. So she went on living, if you can call constantly fighting living, trying not to accept her demons' words that were wearing her out. That little girl was fading away and no one cared, because as long as she put on her happy fake smile, it didn't matter that she was wasting away. I can't tell you that the story has a happy ending, and that's because it doesn't. That little girl grew up. She learned over time to be her own hero because no one was going to save her. So instead of fighting her demons, she learned to accept them, to resist them completely. However, like I said, the story doesn't have a happy ending. That's because my demons are still lingering, ready for round two. Thank you.
Our next performer is a sophomore here at Fortson High School and an advocate of equality. Please welcome Zahra Al-Ghul.
Hi. Dear the anti-feminist, I am a feminist. I know there are some of you in the crowd who hate me because I'm loud at protests, protesting for your right to see Islamophobia flows in the blood of those who don't know us, who get mad when they call you a terrorist, your fellow brothers and sisters across the sea on their knees begging to their Lord. Oh Allah, please help me. I am a feminist. I know there are some of you in the crowd who hate me because I'm loud at protests, protesting for your mom. After all, without us, your mom, your sister, your aunt and cousin would not be who they are. Their votes uncasted, their opinions left to collect dust on the ground where they weep. Unnoticed would be their cries for equality because of people like you. So turn to your mom and tell her her opinions don't matter. I am a feminist. I know there are some of you in the crowd who hate me because I'm loud at protests. Protesting for your sister, protesting to make the world safe, for her to leave the house, her wandering eyes of left and right to make sure no one stands out, to make sure that no one will let their filthy hands near her. A boy in my second hour asked me if I had any remorse for Larry Nassar. When I told him no, he called me heartless. Explain to me why I should have remorse for a person who has never held an ounce of pity in his heart. Stone cold to let it be. What he did was unacceptable, and if you expect me to forgive a monster, then you must be one too. Someone once told me that my opinions don't matter and that my words
won't make the world perfect. To them I tell them I don't want perfect, I just want better. The word perfect is overrated anyways. Perfect is when poverty rates decrease. Perfect is when suicide rates decrease. Perfect is when you can wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and see beauty because that's what you are. Beautiful. Perfect is when you can finally acknowledge that men suffer too. Perfect is when you can see a black man and not be afraid because you think he's gonna mug you. To me, perfect is when I can make the same amount of money that my male coworker makes because we have the same amount of talent. So don't you dare tell me my opinions don't matter and that my words won't change the world because you've been proven wrong too many times before to run your mouth once more. Before 1920, we could not vote. Our sentiments left the float, reaching the atmosphere. But now we're so much closer than we would have ever thought, all because we didn't listen to people like you. I have a message to all the people who are scared, to all the people who are afraid to say how they feel, because we live in a society where opinions are the only things that matter. I have a message to all the wildflowers, to all the people hidden between the rest. Go out, let the thoughts flow out of your mouth, let the world hear your voice, let it all out. Stand in front of those who don't understand and make them understand how you feel, because after all, your voice is your weapon, and how will the world know you exist if you don't speak up? Sincerely, a feminist.
So our next performer is actually a dear friend of mine. She is a sophomore at Edson Ford High School and is involved in the band, theater, social justice, and student council. Please help me welcome Jenna Spacey to the stage.
Before I begin, I'd like to say that I am not Palestinian, but I wear this and I stand with Ahmed. The other day, I came to a realization, a depressing understanding, that I live in a world where racist branding is only expanding, along with the reprimanding of people who aren't their parallel. Where minorities never get a fair game because their skin is in that certain shade of eggshell. Where us Muslims have to constantly apologize for the terrorist actions of others that make people's lives a living hell. I am not like the others, but I'm sorry for 9/11 in Boston, that wasn't my bombshell. Where my black brothers and sisters hide themselves among officers in fear of being beat to death or thrown into another jail cell. I'm sorry, Philando. I know you didn't reach for that gun. Rest in peace, Eric Garner. I'm sorry you couldn't breathe and that your death can't be undone. To all our hardworking immigrants, I stand with you and we are one. I'm sorry for our president and all the lies that he has spun. I won't let him build that wall. I'll tear down each brick, one by one. United, we can do this. We will overcome. To all you girls and women, the way you dressed was not to blame. Don't you dare lower your voice when the haters start to take aim. To every single gay, I support you. To every single gay, I support you. Don't stay in the closet, and we're all the same. I support you, and it's okay to be in love with someone whose sex is the same. And to everyone who's hearing this, I promise we're all human. If we resist and continue to persist, our coexistence will be proven.
Our final poet of the night is Yumna Dagger. She's a sophomore. She's a sophomore here at Fordson High School and enjoys volunteering for the Women's Empowerment Club and Art Club in her free time. She's also the secretary of Art Club. Please welcome her to the stage.
Hi everybody, this is my poem. It's called They Tell Me to Be Small. They tell me to be small, not small like an ant. You know, ants can lift up to 1,000 times their own weight. My dad always told me, ants work together. They are strong. I can't be strong. They don't want me to be strong.
The girls can't be strong. Our biology like freight on a train I have to carry for life. They want me to be small. Small like a doll in a house, little plastic hands like Barbie and Ken, with tight ringlets and a pretty painted smile. I can't be like that. My hair looks like tawny steel wool. My hands are slight and gnarled, like my tata. My tata kisses my hands. They match up like a photo in a heart-shaped locket. I wonder if they ever told my tata to be smaller. They must have. My smile like Mona Lisa, kind of mysterious, like I know a secret, but I can't tell it because they want me to be smaller. You know, it seems like they want me to be smaller. Like my 9 to 5 is to not know my worth. My universe tells me that my burden is being better. Girls shouldn't be better. Girls should be good. Good as in shut up. Put a padlock on your tongue. Your words have no worth. Your open legs like cavities in a tooth, all soiled and rotten. Good girls don't cry over loss. They don't cry over injustice. They don't deal with injustice. It's not the polite thing to do. Good girls cry over men. Injustice is something we know intimately, like an old friend that comes back with bad news. A good as in good girls are always polite and have a smile as sweet as sugar cane. Good girls keep their feet shuffled inside their long skirts. Good girls wait their turn for good things to happen to them. Good girls show off award-winning cakes and strong sons. Good girls don't laugh loud. Good girls can't show their happiness. No air coming through your mouth from your Buddha belly. Curve of your round lips, that special vim in your eyes. I love that about you. Good girls are okay with being less. Be demure, be chaste, be smaller. No one's ever gonna want you like that. They tell me again to be smaller, cover up. Women's blood and breath is every woman's burden, I suppose. Why is my breath a burden? My body belongs to others like it's public domain. I thought my body was my home, my special sanctuary. Why is my body my shame? Shame's a funny thing, you know. It's a lot of lies with an ounce of truth. I can't be that good girl. Veil like a tent hutched over my little body. It's not me. I will kick my legs up. I will dance. I will have passion. I will not apologize. I will be rude. I will have joy. I will choose my life. I will defy orders. I will have love. I will be my own judge. I will talk like a radio. I will bleat like an alarm. I will lick the rain and taste the earth and feel the sun bouncing on my skin like it loves me. The thing is, I don't need them to tell me that I'm smaller. The blanket of the sky and sun already tell me that I am just a speck of dust in a giant's eye. Thank you.
Judges are deliberating, we want to test your knowledge.
It's trivia time! Alright.
Yup, that's right. We have some trivia questions prepared for you, the audience, and you have to participate.
There is actually an element of Q&A to all this.
The show has not ended. The judges will be going out to deliberate. Please keep staying.
Oh yeah.
Please have everyone's attention. We're going to answer. Once we ask the questions, you know the answer, please raise your hand. I'll come up here, Zainab will come up to you tonight. You'll answer. If you're right, all of us will
Yes.
correct it. If not,
5-second interval.
Okay. Who knows who was the heir of Marco Polo?
Huh?
Does anyone know?
Yeah, something like that.
Esa es por culpa.
Please, everyone, repeat the question. Please, everyone, be quiet.
Next person. All right. Who is one of the most famous Arab American poets, artists, and philosophers? I need to run! Where you at?
So, huh?
You're being booted.
Yeah, I know. I want someone about it. Yes. Okay, I go into retirement. I'm sorry if you had to find me.
Who were the Bedouins?
Bedouin.
Alrighty, easy one. Come on, people.
Yeah, this is pretty easy.
The founder of algebra.
Okay, I'll give you this.
Come on, it's close. Ali Tarhini. Ali Tarhini is back. Who's back?
Okay. What is the name of the body of water in the Middle East that does not have any plants or animals?
Yes, you got it right.
Alright, longest river in the Middle East.
Okay, ready? Come on. Yes, you got it. We have an interesting question next. How long are children expected to live at home? Too bad I bring you that rule. I'm looking out next year.
Next up, this one's a little more cultural. So, how long are children? Oh, wait, did we do this? What day is considered a weekend in most of the Arab world?
Saturday, Friday.
Mr. Shaito! Yep. Woo!
What language does Arabic originate from? Yeah, what language did it originate from?
What was it? Phoenician?
No. Let's see what you got. What language did Arabic originate from?
Hebrew. Was it?
Close. Come on, guys, all right? All right, guys, this is a little shameful. These are all on the Arabic test out exam. They're your finals. Where did the Arabic originally originate from?
We have one time for one more question, okay? Who was Kauka by Shot? Start it now. I guess you guys all know this one. Start it now. Start it now. All right, so all our poets, can we please get them back on stage? Come on up. All right, let's take a step back. Step back. Step back. It's photo op time. Hilal Bazi, where you at?
Mama, we made her.
Come on, man. Everybody's covering each other. Yalla, work it out amongst yourselves.
You want us to do it? Sit. You don't have to want to sit next to me. You don't want to sit next to me. Here, sit next to me.
Everyone look at me, okay? Everyone look at me. Okay, wait, I'm gonna do one more reflex. One more reflex. Wait. You guys gotta look. You guys gotta look.
No kidding. Somebody dance behind Hilal so we can look at him.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Please remain on stage. Just take a step back.
I was going to say, please sit down. I was like, it's a nice part. Zach, I want to hold your hand.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Camelia. I have been helping the students prepare as a workshop leader, teacher, and I'm very emotional right now because this was brilliant. And our young people are so incredibly creative and insightful, and the future is literally in their words. And I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want you all to give them a round of applause for their dance. They worked so hard. And so, I just want to celebrate tonight, and this is like the best poetry slam I've ever been to. I've been to a bunch of poetry slams. This is the best poetry slam I've ever been to, and I'm so grateful for you guys. I say all this to say that being a judge was really hard. And having to choose was really hard. Because I want everybody here to make a promise that you guys are going to keep writing, right? When you feel a poem come up, and anybody know this feeling when you feel a poem come up, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm doing my homework, or I'm not gonna write it down because I've got other things to do, right? Maybe this idea isn't important enough. Have you guys thought that before? Okay, don't listen to that. You have to write that idea down. Every single one of those ideas, write them down. Keep a notebook in your pocket and make me a promise that you guys are gonna keep writing, right? We need them to keep writing, right? We need you guys. Okay, with that said, I'm going to announce our top 3 winners for today's Fortune Poetry Slam on the theme of resistance. I'd like everybody to help me congratulate our 3rd place winner, Malak Basne. I would also like you all to help us congratulate our 2nd place winner, Ali Sabah. And finally, I would like everybody to please give us a warm round of applause to congratulate our 1st place winner, So let's give everybody please a round of applause and thank them all for sharing their work with us. I'm going to bring up
Real quick, I'm sorry. I can't. One of the hard things for me was trying to not be biased, but we do also want to award my top 3 in no particular order. First is Zach Barakat.